at that, it's a bike. Oh, well, hello. Kidding. So this is my video on my blue 2001 S351. I'm going to go over a few things. For one, I think as you're watching this, I'll probably have already decided. I'll probably do the thumbnail of how I got this bike, like what it looked like when I got it, you know. So let's go with how I got this bike first, and then we'll go with kind of what I've done to it and why this makes whatever's on this bike all 2001 related, and so you can kind of know, and kind of some backstory on some things, explaining a few reasons why it's so hard to like build a 2001 bike by looking at Dave's pictures and his videos and things like that. It's all down the road. In an earlier video, in fact earlier today, because we're a brand new channel here and we got to make some videos, so this is all within 24 hours. Yeah, I'm on it. So 2001, this is a complete bike, and to get a complete bike back then, and you wanted it all Haro, then you would have to buy, this is a Taiwan frame. So the serial number is on the bottom bracket, and it is MP for Mirra Pro, and a USA frame would be the serial number over here on what I call the driver's side, because I'm left foot forward. So I like all my stuff over here. Everybody else in the world likes them the opposite. But they did originally come on this side. And then they started cutting out the frame that basically dented the frame to run the sprocket on either side. And then these are, I'm already getting into specs, so I'm talking about the, anyways, let's just do this real quick. Since I'm on it, I'm telling you, I need a whiteboard and some better equipment. You can actually take and flop the wheel, free wheel over to this side. These are LSD hubs, are left and right compatible, and I want to put these hubs on that white bike and those mega hubs on this bike. Anyways, LSD, I believe I'll do a video on that, but I'm pretty sure I'll have to rebrush up on. I'm pretty sure the LSD came before the Mega, and the Mega you could buy right hand or you can buy left hand. They weren't reversible like this wheel is. Even that 540 over there is a reversible rear wheel, but that's not a sealed bearing. These are sealed bearings, so there's differences in those. We'll go over hubs a different day. Anyhow, in 2001, as far as getting a complete bike, the way that this thing sits, it's the Signature Series S351 in blue. You could get the white and the Pro frames of 2001. They also made flares. They had a white flare and they had other colored flares in 2001 as well. But to get this thing complete out the door, you get the Taiwan frame and mostly, if not all, USA parts. The seat, I put a Mirra Pro Series black seat on here. These would have came with it actually is on my raw bike, the one that you've seen in a different video. That seat post and seat was actually on this bike, the Signature seat. They're just a little bit shorter and a little bit narrower, a little sleeker. I don't know for sure if you could have just went ahead and found one that's already had the seat on, or if you had to buy it and add it to it, because it is the bigger version and people do like this seat a lot more. In fact, a lot of people who didn't even ride Haros rode this seat. A lot of those old school videos have a white and black or blue or red, you name it, Mirra Pro seat. Then you get your knee saver bars, and they came with the module lever, original Odyssey dual cable on these. Dave Mirra didn't like these, so he would take, well, he got his frame and added his parts on like he wanted to, and that's the whole point of doing spec builds that way. He rode Tech 77s, and a lot of times he didn't run front brake, but he always left the 990s on there because he was a heck of a front brake rider, especially back in the day, and every now and then you do see him with front brakes on. Matching left brake lever, original Haro cable, original Odyssey cables, original SST, original decals, original paint, I put the raw seat post on there. I'm going to put a chrome seat post on there. And I'm kicking around putting my chrome cranks on here and using these on something else. I may not. I may go back to having the black seat post that was supposed to be on there. We'll see. When I got this bike, I didn't mean to. I was trying to build that bike, the white one. I don't know why I keep pointing like you can see what I'm pointing at, but I do. Anyways, I was looking for parts for it, and I was on Marketplace somehow, some way. I didn't even know at this point that you can move the pin on your Marketplace into other places around the country. I didn't even realize how people kept telling me, like, hey, this bike's in your area. Like, I have no idea how they're from different states. And anyhow, this bike was from Ohio, I believe. And I get a message that says, yes, it's available. And I was like, yes, it's available. What this? I didn't click on nothing or message anybody about anything. And so I went to go see what it said was, yes, it was available. It was this bike. And I'm like, whoa here. What? And I'm not going to go over dollar amounts per se, but I got quite a bit more money into that part, just in parts on that white bike, as this whole bike was. Granted, it wasn't this night. I had to go through it pretty well. And it was missing a few of the parts that it needed. So I was like, I got to get this bike. Would you ship? And he wasn't really too up on wanting to ship and how to do it and things like that. And some time went by and a few people messaged me and said, hey, there's this bike for sale. And they sent me the link to it. And I said, I know, I've been talking to that guy and I haven't heard from him in a while. And at the same exact time, a guy from the page was looking for this same exact bike because he had one when he was a kid. Same color, same everything. I believe he wanted the black Mega Nuke though. And I'm like, dude, please don't tell me this guy's going to see this bike. And because he lived over there closer. And I seen a price drop on this bike like a month later. And I'm like, what the crap? I messaged the guy, I told him I'd give him his price. I messaged him again. I said, hey, I was going to give you your price for your, sorry, I'm playing with it. It's hard not to when it's right in front of you. Giggity. It's hard. I was like, hey, you price dropped. I told you I'd pay you your price. Now I'm going to pay you your price drop price. But like, I'm trying to buy this bike, dude. Like, I've been trying to buy this bike and people keep sending it to me and I don't want it to slip out of my hands because I had to part that one together. Granted, it was NOS parts, so that's kind of cool. But like, I would like to get a whole bike for much less than I paid for all the stuff for that. Again, I keep pointing like you can see. This stuff cracks me. I'm not any, just so you know, I'm terrible at this stuff. I'm just not, we're just winging it. Eventually, it'll catch traction, it'll go. Anyways, I talked the guy into shipping it. I had to send him videos of how to box a bike up and how to do it properly so nothing got messed up. And a lot of times people will take the wheels off and they'll put them beside the frame and the axles are rubbing on things. And normally you're supposed to leave your back tire on and put the front tire either up, take the pedals off, up and have your axle through and things like that, or below. Generally not below because it can get shoved up in the top tube. Whole other video, boxing video. Maybe we could do a boxing video when I ship one. Wait, I have to sell one to ship one. No, that ain't happening. So we might not get a boxing video. We get an unboxing video. So I was really worried about this guy ruining this bike because it looked really clean in the pictures. In fact, it's not quite as clean as I thought it was, but it's basically mint. So I sent him a video on how to box it up and everything, and I just went ahead and paid him his money. I'm like, dude, you got to take my money. I've been trying to get this bike. This other guy has been looking for the same bike for a while, and I have no idea how he didn't find this. And I don't know what he ended up paying for the other one, if it was less or more, but it wasn't quite the quality this one was, and I was pretty bummed out. And it wasn't because I couldn't afford it. I just couldn't get the guy to answer me back on whether he'd ship it or not. So I almost messaged a few people on the page and said, hey, can you just go get this bike and ship it to me, since this guy's not really going to figure it out. But he did. He was cool. He kind of slipped his mind or whatever. He's kicking around shipping and things like that. And he ended up sending me a whole bunch of videos like, dude, I'll take it. I don't need to see all these videos and stuff. I just want it. Let's box it up, ship it. So in the thumbnail will be the picture of what this bike looked like as he sold it. It had master pegs on there. It had some S&M white walls on there that were pretty much brand new. they were so big that they were hitting like the brakes and stuff. And so I knew immediately I was gonna have to find handle grips, which I still haven't found yet, tires, and pegs. Right off the bat, I gotta find it. So I got on the line and found the pegs instantly. I had a guy that wanted to trade for the master pegs for his bike. Good buddy now, but at the time that's how I met him. Still can't find these handle grips, but I took it all the way down to the frame, cleaned everything, polished it all the way back, all the way up, built it all the way back, different seat posts, different seat, and I tracked down these. I actually that's how I ended up with the 540. I bought the 540 to get these tires off of because they were pretty much mint multi-surface 3s. Wanted white walls. Obviously, we know how white walls go in this world. It's like about the only thing that nobody's let me have, or I just can't find. Anything else, Mega Nukes, for whatever reason, Mega Nukes and Mirra bars are a lot easier to find than white wall tires. And a lot of people don't even really care for them. They just because they're white wall in general. And I added the K1 chain. The chain was kind of rusty. Went through, took the brakes completely apart, the U-brakes, sat there and hand buffed with my little buffer, hand buffed every single bolt, put it back together. This, like in my earlier video, is a true mega fork with the CNC'd steer tube and the CNC top cap. Yeah, that's my bike in the nutshell. Again, still looking for these style of grips on these. I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not. I'll bring you closer later. They look like the tread on the tire, but they're handle grip. I don't care if they're supposed to be flanges for Mirra, but he did go back and forth. Mainly he rode flanges. And what else? I'll need some white walls for these, and I'll put these on something else. But for the time being, again, I'm gonna find a little bit better quality pedal that didn't get scratched up. But this is the only damage on this bike, is just like right here and here, and I think there was one scratch on the bottom bracket from grinding or something. Anyhow, kind of a backstory. So when I first seen this bike, it was second to the one that I wanted, the white bike, to, because this is the double backflip bike. Not the exact one, obviously. But Dave Mirra did that in 2000. This is a 2001. And this is where a lot of people get messed up on their builds. And they're like, dude, I got this bike. This is a 2001 with 2001 parts set up like a 2001. He had this frame in 2000 and used the parts that was available to him in 2000. 2001 parts, some of them were prototypes, some of them came out, like he ended up getting the stem, obviously. This is the Pro stem with the CNC and everything we talked in the other video. He had this stem, but I don't know that was available to the public quite at that moment. So he also didn't have a lot of Haro parts on his frame, but this frame, I for years thought it was a 2000 color. I thought there was a red, a white, and a blue in 2000 because he did that double backflip in 2000. But when you're building a Mirra spec bike, you got to realize he's on the next year's frame with the current year's parts. And so when a lot of people are trying to build these or talking about these, I've noticed is they're trying to build, this was rode in 2000. They're trying to build a spec build out of 2001 parts with 2001 frame because that's the year that the color come out. But necessarily, most of his builds are either prototype parts that come from 2001 at this moment with this bike in this situation, with a lot of the other hubs and wheels and things of 2000. And so that will help you out with your spec builds a little bit as far as part shopping and things. So, I don't know if anybody knows this. A lot of these colors and things are similar to like the Taiwan stuff. I'm sure they picked a similar color, but they pretty much picked whatever they wanted around the same name that he picked. But he was really into Saline Mustangs. I don't know if I don't remember if he had an actual Saline Mustang or not, but he had pretty done up Mustangs. But the S351 is Saline 351. 351 Windsor is a Ford engine that came in mostly pickups, but they also were the same block as 302, and they came as a 351 in the Saline Mustangs. So like the Fox Body 302s, same block, different board. Either way, no, that's a whole nother, not even BMX. But S351, a Saline 351 Windsor Ford engine that came in the Saline Mustangs. And these colors are rather close to the Ford catalog, so that helps anybody too. It comes with big block pedals with the sealed bearings. That apparently is, I never tightened. I didn't tighten that. Shame on me. I'm supposed to have these all dialed in to where if I wanted to go ride one, I can. I must have forgot to tighten one pedal. Hate to do that when it's on live. And then, so these bar ends, I guess, were just as hammered as that, and I ended up sanding them down and then filing them down because they were pretty rough, and then sanding them, and then very delicately sanding them all the way out to 3,000, and then buffing them to where they look like a nice new mirror finish. But so I'm looking for a set of pedals. Actually, I might have some pedals coming. I don't know. We'll see. I got too much crap going all the time. So that's the breakdown of this bike, and how I got it, and kind of the parts that should be on it. If you're looking for a complete or whatever, you're going to find the signature seat on this bike more than anything. And then you're going to find this in white, and you're going to find this in blue. And so if anybody has one of these in white, hi, I need one, because I want every complete version that you could have got from a bike shop in 99 and 2000 and 2001 and 2002. This would be half of my 2001 completes. These are Heifer Pro wheels. Dave Mirra did not ride those. He rode Araya RXJ 7s, I think, with a mega hub. And he would ride profile hubs. And I think he started on profile hubs because they had left-hand drive capability. A lot of the things that he did, they must have stickered them, or they looked really similar to Haro stuff. But there was times where I'm not even sure if he was on a Haro frame, and that's a whole nother conspiracy theory thing, but we can visit that. There is tales of, and I've seen photos that kind of confirm it a little bit, that he had another bike company make a Haro frame for him because they head tubes and things like that just weren't holding up, and then they just stickered it as a Haro. But on all of his spec bikes, he pretty much used the seat, the handlebars, the tires, and he even quit using the pegs in like 2000. I think he had like Terrible Ones or something, and then I remember there were some prototype premiums out there that had Haro logos on there that looked like they were sleeved. And then I can't remember the name. Is it a Poverty peg? I found another peg that looked just like the pegs in some of his pictures. If you zoom in, they're actually black, and they're not an actual sleeve like today's sleeve or the 1/4 inch where they're replaceable. It's just like a really thin, like graphite layer or something on the outside edge of it, and you can see the little silver ring and then a black sleeve that's kind of torn back a little bit, but it's like paper thin. Still on that rabbit trail if you know anybody. So yeah, that's in a nutshell how I got this bike, and then why it's sitting here the way it is now, and why this is not untouchable. But I'm going to build a 2001 double backflip replica that I have a frame for, left-hand side drive, and that was kind of the intention of this bike to begin with. But you can't tear this down. It came pretty much just like this. I can't justify taking off and putting array of rims on and profile hubs, and sometimes you rode the Odyssey or the profile sprockets on the left hand side drive, and then different cranks, and I just can't tear this bike all the way down. It's too perfect and beautiful the way it is. So I'll give you a walk around, and then that'll be it on that one. My background music is like this for now. Oh, oh. Peace.